Sunday, August the 22nd. Virgo season's in the house, y'all. We're about to get this show started. But while the show is starting up, please drop in the chat, like and share a mountain that you have moved or a barrier you have broken while we get ready to come back to you. Let's go.
Beginning, they counting this out. Just check the history, know that the system can't stop us. The paper they count came from the blood, sweat, and tears of our people. The pivot, scream greatness and shout. Hate our existence, but really, yet truly, we hold all the power, no route. Brace yourselves when we amount, cause we limitless. DNA royal, not menaces, know that we limitless. Brothers and sisters in arms, so the power be limitless. DNA royal, not menaces.
This show represents the opinions of the host and his guests. The content here should not be taken solely as medical advice. This show is for informational purposes only. Please consult your healthcare provider or professional for additional information and follow-up.
My skin and the joy make them 1% matter. That's fact of the matter. Open your eyes when you look at the mirror and see what I see.
Yo, what is going on? I had to come back real quick and say that it is Virgo season starting today. Shout out to our Virgos. If you are a Virgo and you are watching this show, please let me know your birthday and I'm going to give you a shout out. As you know, some of you may not know, but Friday, August the 27th is our national holiday. And that is my actual holiday, which is my birthday. So all of my Virgos, thank you so much for watching tonight. I see you, Martinez. What's up, my brother? Thank you so much for watching tonight. I see you, Miss Penny Davis. Thank you so much for watching tonight as well. But look, we're going to do 3 quick things. If you can like and share this broadcast, I will honor you and appreciate you so much. I'm laughing because of Marta's comment. Stop throwing up gang signs. No, sir, not at all. It's just me being excited that it is Virgo season, the V. All right, y'all. All right, so that's enough playing around. But look, like and share this broadcast. Like and tag some friends. We have an awesome, dynamic show prepared for you tonight. We got some dope people that's going to come in and talk about some great things. But like and share this broadcast. All right, I really want to stay in touch with you. Thank you so much for always reaching out, sending me texts, sending me inbox messages. I humbly appreciate each and every one of you. But I want to stay in touch with you outside of the screens. So here are some ways that you can keep in touch with me, move mountains, break barriers, and limitless possibilities. You can follow us on Facebook by clicking there we go, on Facebook, which is Limitless Possibilities. Instagram, you can follow us on Limitless Outcomes. YouTube, Limitless Possibilities LLC. And Twitter, Limitless One for you. And always, you can visit the website, which is www.limitlesspossibilitiesforyou.com. And you can text TALK, TLK, to 844-549-1369. Text the word TALK, TALK, to 844-549-1369. That way you will be able to receive a lot of motivational, inspirational moments, some quotes, some sales, some discounts, what's going on with me, what's going on with Move Mountains and Break Barriers, and lastly, so we can stay in touch with each other. But look, I did all of that. Now let me tell you a little bit about who I am. For those who are watching the first time, thank you so much for watching. And if you are watching this broadcast as a replay, I thank you as well for taking some time out of your busy schedule to watch this show. But this is your boy, Thomas Davis, a.k.a. Country Grammar, a.k.a. your boy from the little city in Danville, Virginia, that is a licensed professional counselor. And this show is solely intended only to empower us to keep moving forward, to keep moving mountains, to keep breaking barriers, and most of all, understand that you are not in this alone. We are we are ordinary people. I am ordinary. I'm not no, I am just basic. But please let me know that you are watching this night. Let me know you are tuned in. Let me know that you are here. I want to hear from you tonight. We want to have a very interactive show. So that's enough for Thomas. That's enough for me. I really want to start right into this show early because we have three powerhouse guests on tonight. Three powerhouse guests, and they are going to come on, and we're going to have a discussion about success, the side effects of being successful. Mm, 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 mm. But let me know that you're here. Please like and share this broadcast, and we're going to jump right into it. So there's going to be a photo that's going to be popping up on the screen, and it is a picture of success. And in that success, it simply is this. There is something about the word success that brings joy, brings excitement, and a feeling of accomplishment. But with everything that happened to us, y'all, everything that comes to us good, we also have to prepare to climb some mountains. We also have to prepare to understand that everything that comes good also comes a lot of work to maintain it. So we're going to focus on some positive attributes of being successful. But we also are going to talk about ways to stay encouraged, to make modifications, and to understand that your and our possibilities are limitless. I see you, Las Vegas. Thank you so much for tuning in. Vegas is in the house tonight. Thank you so much for watching. But we're going to give some. I see you. I see you, brother. James Wright is always on. Thank you so much for watching and being a faithful viewer. But there are some definitions that I want to pop up as well before we hop into this discussion. Success. Y'all, success is defined as the accomplishment or aim on purpose. Accomplishment of an aim or purpose. What is our purpose? What are we accomplishing? The definition is and it also says it is the good or a bad outcome or of the undertaking. Sometimes, things going to happen, but when we get over it and we climb that mountain, that is a success. Accomplishment, y'all, accomplishment is defined as the following. Something that has been achieved successfully. The reduction of inflation was a remarkable accomplishment. So what are we going to accomplish tonight, y'all? We're going to leave you before this show ends with feeling that you can continue to be successful. We're going to leave you with the feeling that you can and will accomplish what you have set forth in your life. And lastly, we want you to continue to move those mountains and break those barriers. But as I stated before, we're going to talk about the side effects of success, the purpose of being accountable for yourself and managing it and managing those side effects when they come. Because people, viewers, they are going to come and we have to be prepared to deal with it. But y'all, let me slow down a little bit. Guess who we have on the show tonight? The first person that I want to talk to you and introduce you to is a person that is continuing to make people that she support continue to be accomplished and continue to rise and be successful. She also is a young lady who works behind the scenes on Move Mountains and Break Barriers. She supports other shows as well. And it is awesome to have her on the front tonight to come in and show her face and share with you from her side and from her perspective on what it means to be successful and how to manage those side effects. I see some people tuning in from Arkansas. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Miss Harris, you are in. Listen, this conversation tonight is going to be very dynamic. So like and share and tag some people as we bring them in. But we have on the show tonight Miss Jasmine Smith. We have back with us Mr. Brashawn Jenkins and Mr. John Rawlins. Brashawn Jenkins and John Rawlins and Jasmine are going to come forth, and we're going to have a dynamic conversation. We're not even going to be in order. Everyone is going to be on panel tonight, and we all are going to empower you to continue to be successful. So without further ado, I want to bring on the panel.
Limitless, brothers and sisters in Arsenal, the power
be. Hey, Limitless.
Hi there.
How's everyone doing?
Good to be
Doing
here.
Great.
Good. Everyone's good.
Listen, yo, John, Brashawn, isn't it different seeing Jasmine up front tonight?
You know,
I love it.
The one keeping us in line and telling us.
Love it.
It's good to be able to be on this side with us today.
I love it.
Pleasure.
So how you doing, Miss Jasmine?
I'm great. I'm excited. Thankful for, just because I work behind the scenes, I don't take it lightly for you to invite me on. So I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being on tonight. John, talk to us, because you out there where Martinez is in the great old West Coast of California. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, chilling out here in Southern California. It's a decent day outside. And, everything is everything. So I'm excited and always glad to be back and be with you all. So looking forward to the conversation today.
Jasmine, you getting some love in the chat tonight.
I see.
Getting some love. All right, Brashawn, talk to us, brother. How are you doing today in the DMV since I'm throwing up gang signs?
I'm doing well. I'm just excited about engaging in this conversation.
Yes.
When you called and said what we were going to be talking about today, I had to be very reflective, and I was like, wow, I'm going to have to tell all my business today. So, but it's for the purpose of helping somebody. So we're just going to be on this journey today and see where it goes.
Right. Which is why I wanted to just start right into this conversation so we can give all of us an opportunity to just share out and just be honest with our viewers. Again, to our viewers tonight, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for blowing up the chat. We love you. We appreciate you, and thank you for spending 55 minutes with us. But now let's bring on our dynamic guest. So in talking about this subject, it's easy for us to always go about change, right? And it's easy for us to see the bigger picture, but sometimes we got to go back and think about how we got there. How are we going to continue to strive to stay there? And also understanding that when we are doing these things, preparing ourselves for what may happen. Because as we all know, it is great to be successful. It is great to have accomplishments. It's great to have all these great and dynamic things. But we also sometimes don't really pay attention to those side effects. Side effects can be your friends, your foes, people that don't want to see you grow. And it can also be ourselves, because we could be successful, but still not see it or feel it. So we're going to have a dynamic conversation tonight, and we're going to just jump right on into this. Are y'all ready? Let's do it. All right, let's do it. So I'm from the country. I was raised right. I'm a man of alpha along with these brothers. So we always start with our ladies. So Miss Jasmine, can you just share with us what is your meaning of success?
So success for me, or for anyone, I think is really based on your values and what's most important to you. For me, it has shifted over time. I can say that with maturity and as life has changed, but it's wellness in every area of our life, with consideration of the impact to ourselves, our body, our health, and also those who are connected to us.
That's good. Love it. Thank you so much. Brashawn, talk to us, brother.
If you would have asked me this question 10 years ago, I would have had a completely different answer than what I have today. And I think that what success really is understanding what you were created to do and making sure that you are doing the life assignments, using every gift, talent, and ability that you have been given. That's what true success is. Success is not, for many people it is, but I think that success in the long term has nothing to do with fame, has nothing to do with awards, has nothing to do with accolades. It really has to do with when you sleep at night, do you feel a sense of fulfillment?
Love it. John, come talk to us, bro.
I mean, I'm trying to think of how much more I can actually add, but I think that when I think about success, it's ultimately for me accomplishing aspects of this journey to purpose, right? And it really, when you think about that journey, it doesn't necessarily matter how long it takes, but like Rashawn said, everything that you're doing is moving you forward in the ways in which, you know, you're doing the things that you're supposed to be doing, the things that you're called to do, and you will ultimately get to be able to achieve purpose. But really, for me, it's about accomplishing the aspects of the journey and even being on that journey.
Love that. Love that. There was a comment that came in from Miss Lee, and she says, grateful for growth. I love what you all are sharing. And thank you so much for dropping in those comments. Thank you again. Continue to drop your comments. We want you to know that we hear you and we see you. And thank you so much. But, you know, y'all all hit it on the head. If I could say what is my own personal meaning of success, I would just say purpose, vision, and follow through. When we have a purpose, when we have a vision and we follow through with what that is, everything else will come into play.
Yeah. I think one of the things, like if I could have a conversation with my 21-year-old self, I think one of the things that I would have told myself was there will come a day when you a lot of the things that I was focused on and working so hard to do, that one day those things wouldn't be an issue. Right. But understanding almost, and I'm going to tweak what that great theologian, the Notorious B.I.G. said, sometimes with more money comes more problems. And, right. and with that, so as we start talking about the side effects or whatever, I don't think I was ever really prepared for understanding that once I started climbing in certain directions, the things that came with it, and trying to understand that. And so I think in myself, I've made many mistakes. I watched my friends almost self-destructed, as I did to a degree. Nothing prepares you for getting to that place called there, only to understand that there's a lot that comes with your there, because everybody's there is different. Everybody's there is different.
Woo. Okay. Y'all are dropping some fire. Miss Sarah said all of you all are dropping some bombs. Jared Williams gave the 100 sign. Thank y'all so much for tuning in on a Sunday night. But yo, this is what we are trying to empower everyone. Continue to be successful and understand what is your meaning. Because what my meaning is not the same as Jasmine, it's not the same as John, or it's not the same as Rashawn. We have to understand what is our definition and make it work and fit for us. Thank you guys so much for answering that first question. But let's hop into this. So one of the things that Rashawn just said is we are not going to keep up with the Joneses, right? What I do for me is not what everyone should do. And so the question that I want to ask now is like, what steps did we all take to achieve this word called success? What were some of those steps that we had to do? So I'm going to start with Rashawn first and pass it over to Jasmine.
I think one of the things that I was very blessed and very fortunate with was coming from a family that believed in education. So I went to school, I toured. I was given the opportunity to study what I wanted to study and to really move in a direction academically and artistically, because I'm a design educator, I'm an artist. So I've been able to do those things. So I was able to do that. I think one of the things that I would tell anyone is, and this is one of the things that I remember a professor in graduate school said, and it has served me well. And he said, if you're faithful with your career, moving in a certain path, and you give yourself 10 years, you will be able to get where it is that you want to go if you're faithful to it. And I think that most of us who are watching today, you've been faithful, and your big break may have come or is on its way to coming. But what we're talking about today is not when your big break comes. It is helping you to maintain and not self-destruct once your opportunity and once your monumental moment comes. And and you all know I'm a pastor, I'm a spiritual leader. So, we pray that prayer of Jabez, enlarge my territory. But nobody wants to tell you that when enlarged territory comes drama, when enlarged territory comes things that you have to fight. And so you have to be prepared. Make sure that when you're asking for your territory to be enlarged, that you are willing to accept all the things that come with it.
Let the church say amen. All right, Jasmine, come talk to us, sweetheart.
Very well said. I think that it begins with, or it began for me with my mindset. For me, I had to get out of this place of survival mode that many of us live in, of just trying to maintain, but have faith in taking steps to level up and to do something different. In the path of career, I definitely broke the mold. Anyone out there who is an entrepreneur, then the people around you will look at you like you are very crazy for not doing things the structure way. Yes, I went to school and obtained a degree, and you did that, and now you want to do what? But for me, as a military wife, I got very tired in the aspect of career of moving and starting over. And I told God, I don't want to keep on doing this, beginning again. And in my prayer, God told me, you are a business. And so I began to change my mindset and assess the skills that I had, the works of my hands, my passions, the things that I enjoyed, to figure out what is it that I want to do next. And then having the faith in yourself, and to Brashawn's point from the beginning, really knowing your purpose, because the times are going to come when you don't feel like it, where it doesn't feel good, where you have self-doubt and are questioning yourself. But if you really know and you know in your heart what it is that you're called to do, and you stay faithful and committed to that, you have to trust in that, even in those times, to continue to move forward in spite of how it feels. So those are some of the steps that I took to stay on track and to stay focused.
Love it. Thank you. John, talk to us, sir.
It's been incredible. And I think for me, I had to start from a step, maybe even a little further back, to even start living and thinking about what purpose meant for me. Because at first, I kind of just let things happen, right? I even think about, for my career, I finished a summer job or summer employment right after I graduated from college, not necessarily understanding or knowing what I wanted to do. And it was someone else's suggestion, one of my mentors, who said, look into this particular position. So I looked into the position. It was a 10-month position. And, I got the job, jumped into it. And I figured, okay, 10 months, let me think about what I really want to do. Like, I wasn't even thinking about this career and this field. I wasn't even always, I feel like, giving my most to this job. It was just, I have a job, that's great. Now let me think about maybe what I want to do. And it was through the course of that first 10 months at the job that I really thought about and started to see where my purpose was. And so then I had to realize that what God had placed in front of me as an opportunity had to then meet my desire to live purposefully, right? To actually say, Lord, okay, you know what? I see myself here. I don't fully know what that means, God, but I need you to show me the journey and the direction. And so once I was able to pray on it, I felt like I got some divine strategy around it, some insight. That's when I feel like I was able to really start the journey. And probably, I guess, technically, I was probably starting at like step 2 or 3, right? Not from the very beginning, because those steps had already happened. And I'm talking about something that literally was 15 years ago at this point. And yesterday was the 15th anniversary of me being in my field, right? But again, it took that understanding that God had given me an opportunity, and then the desire to live purposefully. Those things had to come together for me to start that journey.
I love it. And thank you for your level of honesty and transparency. I'm going to ask Thomas Davis this question, and y'all going to be blown away with my response. Thomas, what steps did you take to achieve being successful? And what I had to do, y'all, is I had to start listening to me and stop listening to what everybody else was telling me to do.
Yeah.
That's a message right there to somebody that is streaming tonight. Stop listening to what everyone is advising you to do and start listening to what you know you should do. Because at the end of the day, you know what's best for you. Not your mama. I love my mama to death. She is streaming. But guess what? At the age of 41, what was good for her is not good for me. So at the end of the day, you got to start listening to yourself first, which goes into our next question. Sometimes we feel successful, right? But sometimes we don't even know when we are. And so we are helping some people tonight because this chat is blowing up. Thank you all for commenting. We are showing your comments on screen. Thank you so much for just being responsive and transparent. But I want to start with John. I know you are doing a lot of things, and happy anniversary for being in your field for 15 years. But how long did it take for you, John, to feel that sense of accomplishment and success?
It's funny because when I interviewed for the job that I currently have, I'm the director of the Black Student Center and the special assistant to the chief diversity officer at California State University, San Marcos. But when I was applying to be the director, I came on campus and, I was in the final interview round, one of the 3 or 4 candidates they had. And they started to ask me, the traditional battery ram of questions, right? Talk about your experience doing this. If this situation popped up, how would you approach it? We're dealing with this. How would you, make this happen? What, experiences have you had that led you to that? And I realized that in every answer, I had a concrete example of something that I had done in my work that gave me insight to how to answer the question and gave examples of how I could be successful working in this area, working in this job. And I remember going back to the hotel room and really thinking to myself and really having to thank God because, again, up until then, I had, I knew I did some stuff. I know I had experiences, but to be in that space where I had to really talk about them and really think back and remember, I remember feeling, even if I don't get this job, I know I have done this work to the best of my ability and have done this well. And wherever I'm supposed to be next, be it in California or somewhere else, I'm going to be fine. And that was the moment May of 2019. This is May of 2019. That's when I said, I feel like I'm at that level in my career where I'm good. I am really, really good. And now I can start to think about more holistically, so what's next? But that was definitely a level of accomplishment that I appreciated. And it was in that interview setting where I caught it.
Love it. Love it. Jasmine, talk to us.
I had muted, so you don't hear my typing. This question really hit me on today because this past week, I really realized that the accomplishment in business and in a career are amazing. But what really has made me feel successful in the moments that I have felt successful is what it yields. And this past week was my children's first full week of school. And I was able to be present in a way that I have not been able to be. It yielded me the time with my children. It yielded me the ability to take part in their first day and be around and be present and go to football games. If you follow me, you see my son standing taller than me, and I didn't have to ask anyone, could I go? For me, I need that. I need that flexibility. As a military spouse, we're often deceased where it's just us and we don't know anyone. I felt successful for what I've been able to accomplish, for what that yielded for me. And that meant a lot to me, to be able to meet their needs. And all of those essential things are amazing that money brings and all of that. But to be present, that felt like success to me, for sure.
Wow. Shout out to you, mom and family. Shout out, and we're glad that your kids are back in school, safe, and getting back in the classroom to learning. So thank you so much for sharing that. Rashawn, I'm looking at your brother
So
because you
here's
hold on, hold on. You know, I know you're about to drop some knowledge. And
here's the thing. Here's the thing. I spent most of my career in some facet of the entertainment industry, and just been very blessed, been very fortunate, and it got to be a place where I was working 7 days a week. I didn't have time to pay my bills. This was when I started realizing that I had a problem with my life and the direction my life was coming in. Things like automatic bill pay was new and all that kind of stuff. And so I was doing so much juggling that I didn't have an opportunity really to have good reflective time to figure out and to strategize and to do things. I was just going, working. Very proud of what I was doing, bragging about the folk who I was working with and everything. And I had dinner probably about a month ago with one of my former students when I taught at Hampton, and she just won an Emmy Award. She's an Emmy Award winning costume designer. She wanted me to work with her on a couple projects, and she said, "Well, can you work with it?" And I said, "No." And she was like, and I said, "Because I don't like how my life felt when I was in that place." I said, "Is there any other way that I can help you?" So we were coaching and going through some things. And I said, "So, what is it that you're the most afraid of?" She said, "I don't own my time." And so when Jasmine was talking about, being able to be present, I think for many of us, once you have climbed certain ladders and once you have had the opportunity to wear certain titles and be certain places or whatever, the most important thing that you want to be able to do is to be able to own your time, to be able to say no to some things, to be able to be completely in a place where you can do what you need. You can do what you want to do when you need to do it and not because you got to do it. And I think that to me, that is true success, because there were some seasons in my life where I had to do certain things. I didn't have a choice. But now I own my time. And so I'm very selective about what I give my yes to. I'm very selective about what I give my yes to. I'm very selective who I give my yes to. And if it does, and I can be mid-process. And if that thing don't feel right, I walk out. I say, I'm out. This ain't working for me.
Love it.
I think that the thing that we need to push folk toward today is doing what you need to do so that all of your gifts and talents are being utilized and owning your time. Because you can get more money, you don't get more time. Right. So making sure that you own your time.
Whew. Jasmine, can you post a comment up from Sarah Harris? And I want to go back to this, and I want to tag in John with me with this. Sarah says, investing in me, self-care, educating myself, and believing in myself. Those are the basic, as what if I wanted to go backwards, I could say that's Maslow, hierarchy of needs. You gotta feel good about yourself before you can go to that next level. Sometimes people are successful and they really don't even realize that they are successful because they are at a peace of mind. Sometimes we get caught up in the big things like the CEOs and the presidents and being on Facebook Live. But the fact that you were able to wake up this morning and walk out of a situation that you've been toiling with for years and for time is a success. So, John, can we talk to the people about those small successes?
Absolutely. Right. I mean, the fact that you have the ability to make certain decisions, right? You have the ability, you all said, to say yes and no to certain things, to maneuver how you need to maneuver. One of the things that I've always done it, and so, like I talked about, I have my career, but I also have this whole music career and these other things that I do. And I used to think I have to choose one. over the other. If I take on this job, I'm not going to be able to do this over here. And it took me a while, but one of my really close friends, one of my brothers, he always said, he said, this is all a part of your purpose. And so God will help you to figure out how you maneuver that piece. And one of the things that I love and I'm so grateful for, when we talk about owning your time, I have never been questioned about my music and my ministry stuff working in student affairs. No one has ever said, well, no, you can't. I went on tour for a whole month with Wynton Marsalis without question, right? While in the middle of an academic school year. It was never, oh, no, you can't do this. Because when people see and understand your passion, they will support you how you need to be supported. And when you know it's a part of your purpose and you move in that direction where it's a part of your purpose, even if it doesn't have to do anything with your job or your job description of that particular field, people will understand that and they will have no choice but to support it. But you've got to be able to speak up for yourself. You've got to be able to advocate for yourself, right? And I think that's part of this decisions, right? I am going to make sure that I make time to do this. I am going to make sure that I advocate that family is important to me. I am going to make sure I make time because I'm going to work all day, but I know I need to study. I want to get this other degree, or I want to take this class, this workshop. I'm going to make sure those things happen.
Yes.
Again, that's a part of those steps, right? The journey is not something you start and you just finish, but you got to be able to appreciate every stop along the journey, every aspect and every opportunity that you have to experience something, because then when you get to what you feel like that end or that high point may be in your journey, you'll be able to, one, appreciate it more and maybe even discover that there's actually more beyond that you can do. So I completely agree. I think you have to make sure as you're on this journey, you maintain self, right? You maintain self-help, right? You maintain your integrity. You maintain and don't do anything crazy just to get somewhere. You got to maintain your own self. So that's sometimes taking time for yourself, taking time to not do anything that has to be, to be on this journey, because I need to just chill out. I need a weekend. I need some vacation is a thing, y'all. A lot of us, we get this paid vacation. We get this paid vacation time and we don't take it, and we feel guilty when we do take it. Or, it's like, yes, I'm on vacation, but if you need me, I'll answer the email. I'll answer the phone. No, take the time that you need to refresh and to re-energize, because guess what? The work will still be there when you get back, and you probably will have a much clearer head to attack the work and to address the work. So that me time is important. And again, those small steps and small opportunities, they make a big difference as you're going down the road.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Y'all are killing these replies. If we can throw up some of the replies on the screen. They are texting me, by the way, saying that we are coming out swinging. People are engaged in tonight's session. Please, y'all, if y'all are watching the show, please like and share, tag some of your friends, because people are really engaged, and we appreciate this. It's not about Thomas. It's not about Jasmine. It's not about Bashan. It's not about John. It's about encouraging you that you are successful, and just keep it moving.
Thomas.
Yes, you may, sir.
Because John said something that I think that this generation is embracing more. That generations didn't embrace fully, and that is, you are allowed to be multifaceted. You are allowed not to be just one thing. That this whole concept of multiple streams of income, this thing used to be only for this thing used to seem like it was only for rich people, but people of color have always been multifaceted. Your mama taught school, she catered, she did a whole bunch of stuff on the side. Like we are allowed to do more than one thing. We are allowed to be more than one thing. We are allowed to not just be defined so narrowly by what other people want. And one of the things that I've struggled with at all the way up until I turned 45 was I had to start looking at when people will always tell me who I was and what I couldn't do and what I wasn't smart enough to be, and I was too this, too that, and too the other. It was let me tell you something. I'm always too much. And I got to a place where, hear me, Jasmine. Once I became a pastor, and I realized that I cannot make everybody happy, and God let me feel the feeling of every day I wake up, somebody's mad with me. I started saying, you know what, fuck this. I'm just gonna do me. I'm just gonna do me. I'm gonna do what I'm gonna use the God in me to be my moral compass. So it'll help me to read it. It'll help focus me. But every day you wake up somebody mad. So don't let that be you mad at you.
All right. Thank you, Brashawn. Let's jump into this next question. Jasmine, I'm going to start with you. We talked about side effects already. So let me just ask you this question. Side effects, right? What side effects did you have to manage, and how did you endure it? How did you go through those side effects?
I think that one that really stuck out to me, because we hear the term about opposition as haters and, you know, like a foe. But sometimes the people who love us, their resistance or their pushback isn't even from a malicious or a negative place. Right. Sometimes it's hard for people to see vision. Sometimes you have people in your life whose faith is not on the same level as yours, right. Or even generationally who value certain things. Like there's folks in my family who, you know, believe like getting a job with the state is like the gold and the epitome, you know, right. of success, or looking at benefits and, you know, whatever that their reasons are. So being able to navigate through that, even those with the best intentions, is definitely a side effect. Understanding that their intentions are not bad, because right. when we have the wrong understanding about someone approaching us in that way, we might sacrifice a good relationship of thinking that they're a hater or they're in opposition, when really they just love us and want the best for us. So being able to either explain it or being able to give that response and keep it pushing is definitely a side effect. All opposition is not going to be hate, but it's something that we need to navigate through. The other thing for me is I'm a person, I'm often complimented on being organized, but it really comes from a flaw. So a side effect is being overwhelmed of success. And anything that we have, where we have a flaw, I believe that God will give you a tool. And he gave me the tool of organization, but we have to be humble enough to submit and understand that we need some things to help us facilitate, and not only to receive or achieve success, but the next part of that is maintaining it. And so being honest with yourself about your flaws and your challenges, and being humble enough to take on help or to make changes in your life, in your own habits, your own character, allowing yourself to be shaped and molded. And that takes humility. So that's a good side effect.
All right. And y'all that are watching, Miss Jasmine is keeping me organized. I'm listening to her, and she's making me be better at being organized. So thank you for the answer to that question. Brashawn, talk to us. What side effects did you have to manage, sir?
The largest one is, okay, I'm a people pleaser and by nature. And so what I would do is, when God would start pushing me into certain directions, because I didn't want to be lonely, I would take people along for the journey with me who were not supposed to go. And so I always would find myself in these positions where, so like, I had a problem with being with myself. So when I wanted to go to the newest restaurant and I couldn't get anybody to go with me, I'd be like, hey, come go to X, Y, and Z restaurant with me. Come on, I'll pay. And so it got to be this 20-year thing of every time I wanted to experience something, nobody would go with me just because I wanted to go, but they would go because I was paying, right? And so I had to get to a place where I enjoyed my own company enough, and I believed in myself. Because let me tell you something, at this place, the Brashawn I am today, I believe God, but I believe in myself. Right. And I'm okay if you don't believe in me. I'm okay if you don't think I'm wonderful. I'm okay if I got to do it by myself. I'm that dude today. I wasn't that dude a year ago. I wasn't that dude 6 months ago. But life has taught me those things. So one of the things that I tell all of us is, many of us, as we start going, as we start grinding, we need to understand that there's going to be room for you, but everybody can't go with you, because it's going to sometimes be hurtful, because some of the folk who were good for us 10 years ago are not good for us now.
Yes.
Some folk who were good for us in January are not good for us in August. And Thomas, I'm gonna walk everybody through something. I was in a situation. I hosted something at my home, and Thomas came and we talked the next day, and he said, "Brother, there's some folk who trying to latch on to you. I want you to watch that. Be careful, because I know you got a giving heart. I know that you want to help and whatever, but just watch that, because people see you genuinely. You're doing it genuinely, but they're seeing it as an act of opportunity. So we need to always understand that some folk are not praying for you. They are PEYING on you.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Brashad. Mute his mic, Jasmine. Mute his mic. John, talk to us, John. Talk to us.
Listen, I literally wrote down here loneliness, and then Brashad talked about it. But one of the other things that I wrote down, because that loneliness is a major piece, is comparison. And I think for me, you know, at every level, right, you may see people that you feel like you're striving to be like, right? You, of course, you know, the old adage is, you know, you may see the glory, but you don't know the story. And so that's already one reason. Be careful of how you compare yourself to people. But a lot of times, even as we find ourselves in areas of success and we get to one stage or another, right? Maybe we've met what we think is that platform where these other folks are. Then we see, okay, this is the next step in my journey. And oh, here's another group of people that I'm now being introduced to that I need to think about. How do I do what they're doing? Or I'm comparing myself to the, and that comparison, it's another adage, comparison kills. We know that. And so one of the things about success is we've got to understand, once we are okay with who we are, once we are confident in our abilities, confident in our, you know, in our purpose, then we have to really do the work of not comparing ourselves to everybody else, not comparing what we feel like we see to where we are, because it's all we can do is see certain aspects. We're only looking at perceptions of what people show us, especially when we think about social media. Someone said it not too long ago. You know, you look at all these relationships on social media and all these people, and you got these 10 and 12 paragraphs of flowery language, but then you know back behind the scenes, that is not what's happening here.
Facts.
Right? That what is being shown publicly is not what is actually going on in the background. And so we all the perception, and we only see what people want us to see. We only give off what we want people to see. And so when we really think about success, you got to make sure that you kill the spirit of comparison that will have you trying to run after everybody else's success and not focus on the journey to your own success.
Okay, listen, what y'all just said, y'all stepped on all of my little 10 big toes over here. Because if I'm honest and transparent to the viewers tonight, when I first started this, I had to realize that Move Mountains, Break Barriers is not a same show that I sit on other platforms with. I had to realize when I sit on this show, I have to bring my authentic self, not myself that I am with other people. And I had to come quickly with Jasmine and Brashad rebuking me and John rebuking me to quickly understand that if I'm not comfortable in Thomas, then maybe I shouldn't be here. And that's something that I want someone else that is listening tonight to understand. If you are not comfortable with who you are, you got to understand your purpose and understand that why, that WHY. Just like he said, praying, PREYING, we also have to understand what is our why in life. Why do we do the things that we do? Why do we say the things that we say? Why do we go to places that we go? So we got to build ourselves up and stop comparing. And thank you, John, for reminding me again to be who you have been called to be, which goes to the next question. How do we remain grounded, y'all? Like, we've been telling everybody about the side effects and positivity stuff, but how can we continue to be true and remain grounded when that boat won't rock? And I'm gonna start with Jasmine first.
Yeah, I think it's so important to have wise counsel around you. And we love, people who say yes, but we need some people who say no and who tell us the truth.
Right.
And for me, God has given me a wonderful soundboard, and my husband, He brings out my best self for sure because he's very honest with me. He knows me, knows my strengths, my weaknesses. A lot of my sisters, y'all see him on the line on today. Some amazing accountability partners will definitely help to keep you grounded. Not only to bring you down when you're doing too much,
Right.
but on those days where you're being very hard on yourself, where you are full of self-doubt, where you're wondering, as what am I being effective? Am I on the right track? Those people who will encourage you and lift you back up are so vital to helping you remain grounded. Something that John said is true also to this question, and that is resting. Taking time to do nothing, taking time to be with your family, be with your loved ones, be with your children, remembering what really matters. Because I love my clients, but if something happens to me, they got to go find somebody else to continue on in their purpose and on their journey. And I get it. So taking care of yourself and being mindful of what truly, truly matters definitely helps to keep you maintained.
Love it. Rashawn, how do you stay grounded, brother? How do you stay grounded?
So if you don't do it, life will do it. I think that we saw this weekend that one of the Olympic athletes that was on top of the world not too long ago, and who was used to winning all of her races, came in 9th place. And when they put the camera on her, because she put the camera on her, she used it as an opportunity to go through a rant. And I know there's some people going to tear me up for this, but I want you to hear what it is, and hear what it is that I'm saying. And that is, sometimes you have to make sure that you are not going to be on top all the time. You're not. And so you got to know how to lose. You got to know how to be down. You got to know how to, and a lot of that is, what I tell people about being successful is, success is knowing how to be up and still act like you're down. And what I mean by that is, you got to sometimes humble yourself so life doesn't do it. And at times, my biggest enemy has been myself, has been my own ego, and sometimes it still gets the best of me. But what I've learned is, if I do the deflating, then life don't have to do it. And when I keep myself at a sober level, not tripping on my own ego, I can watch stuff. I can pay attention to stuff. I cannot trip over my own things, because let me tell you all, we're all like the Wizard of Oz. We have this public persona, but you know the person you are at home. You know your shortcomings. You know all of those things. And so I never forget. Don't nobody have to tell me, who do you think you are? Oh, I know that. Somebody said to me one day, she said, you know what, I don't like you. I said, well, honey, join the club. I don't like me all the time either. So you can't hurt my feelings.
Right.
Because we need to think soberly when it comes to ourselves, because all of us are gifted. All of us are talented.
Right.
All of us are good at something or some things. But you got to learn how to walk soberly, so that when you fall, it's not the end of the world.
Well, as you said, Wizard of Oz, let's ease on down the road to John. Talk to us, brother.
That was so good. I mean, we always talk about sometimes your biggest enemy is the inner me, right? And so you got to really pay attention to that. Something else that you both said, Rashawn and Jasmine, that connected with, and I thought about it from this staging standpoint, just because that's how my life works sometimes, right? When you are the one in the spotlight, everyone sees everything that's going on, right? So even talking about the runner, our focus and attention was on that particular runner, because everybody was just waiting, and it allowed everybody else to do what they just do, right? And we weren't paying attention to everybody else. We had our eyes on that one person. And sometimes it's when the lights are not on you. It's when it's dark, right? And the lights are on somebody else. I have the opportunity to strategize. I have the opportunity to do what I need to do to get to where I'm going, and not be the area or the person that everyone's eyes are on. And sometimes that is a great thing. The other thing I would say in terms of remaining grounded and focused for me, and it goes back to what I was saying about that comparison piece, right? We often look at other people and where they're going, and we just try to mimic or try to figure out this is how we need to get there. But sometimes with the right people, what about connecting to them, right? Connecting to people who are about purpose, who are about making things happen, asking them questions, not to be able to copy them and do what they're doing, but asking them the questions that are necessary to say, how can I take the strategies that I have and the insight that you've given me to maybe maneuver a little bit differently. And depending on who those people are, they may give you some of those connections. Don't be running and begging for those connections. I got a story, I'm not going to tell it, about begging for connections. But you got to sometimes say, okay, what are the things, and this is now that I have this new knowledge from someone else who's done this or does what I'm trying to do, how does that help me to be better? How does that help me? And that sometimes will be the thing that keeps you focused, because sometimes you got a plan, you got these blinders on, but there's this piece over here that you haven't necessarily considered until somebody else mentions maybe that's something that they had to work through or something that they had to address. And then, now this is how I need to refocus. And so those are the things I think for me keep me focused and keep me driven and grounded.
Thank you so much. To our listening audience, can we just give them a quick round of applause, because they've been blowing this chat up all night. If you all can, please click that link in the chat. Drop your feedback on how we can improve, things that you will just want to share with us. Just let us know how we're doing. I take feedback. I accept feedback. If I want you to be on this show second and fourth Sundays with me, I need to know how we can improve and keep you guys coming back for more. All right, we're going to do some quick last minute close out. So Jasmine, if you could just start off with whatever it is that is on your heart that you would like to say to our audience.
Yeah, thank you so much again, Thomas, for having me on. I think especially being the only woman on today, if I may, just want to speak to the ladies for a moment and just encourage you in striving and aiming. I want to say that being strong is sometimes overrated. Find you some support, find you some help, find you some tools, get you some mental health support, whatever it takes on your journey for you to be well. Believe in yourself, have faith in yourself, step out of the box, and don't feel like you're obligated to fulfill the cookie cutter mold of what society, our family tradition. You fill in your own blank there. I'm just a testimony and a witness, and grateful for everything that God has blessed me with and continues to bless me with, that if you keep in sight his purpose for you, if you keep him first, and definitely don't lose that on your journey to success, that is certainly humble you, that you can achieve incredible things, that he will open doors for you and give you the strength that you need in him to carry you on. So go for your dreams for sure.
Thank you, Miss Jasmine. And if I may take 10 seconds to say to you, from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate everything that you are doing for me as a man, and for me and for the business. Without you guiding me, without you giving me that tough love behind the scenes, I just want to say publicly that you are tremendous at what you do. And I thank you so much for being on the show, running the show, and still keeping everything moving. So, fellas, isn't she the bomb, y'all? Check her out. Y'all need to hook her up. Y'all need to look her up for some support. Brashawn, what is on your mind that you want to say?
If it don't feel right, leave. If it don't feel right, leave. There are some things that used to fit you and it don't fit you no more. Leave.
Right.
Zora Neale Hurston said, don't stay when love is no longer being offered at the table. If it's not suiting you anymore, if it's not fitting you anymore, leave. Don't be a part of it. I'm not saying don't have courageous conversations. Right. I'm not saying don't exit appropriately, but leave. You know, there's so many things that used to benefit me, that I made money certain ways, but it started killing me. So I had to go. I had to roll out. I had to shoot two fingers. So trust that if you leave it, that God has something better for you. If you leave them, that God has somebody better for you. If you leave that there's something better on the other side, because your best life is on the other side of your comfort zone.
Y'all always tear me up. Thank you, Brashawn. Thank you. John, talk to us, brother. Talk to us.
Like this. So on your journey, sometimes you will find those footprints in the road ahead of you that will guide you and help you to see exactly where you're supposed to go and how God wants to maneuver you. Then there are also going to be some times on that journey where you're not going to see a footprint in sight. And that may be because God wants you to blaze that trail for somebody else. He wants you to be the pioneer. He wants you to be the first. And in those cases, that's when some of that loneliness comes in. That's where some of that doubt comes in. That's where some of that trepidation comes in, because we don't see the path necessarily, but what you see is this clean road, right? And that's for you to make your mark. That's for you to do it the way that God wants you to do it. And if you do it the way that God wants you to do it, somebody else will, in their journey, see those footprints. He will reveal those footprints for that person, and you will help make their journey easier. I don't believe that we're here just to do things for ourselves, but I truly do believe that this is for us to help somebody else find themselves, somebody else to meet their purpose. And so if you see the footsteps in front of you and that's where God wants you to go, great. But if you see that real clean road, blaze that trail.
All right. Thank you. Write the vision and make it plain. Thank you, John. Thank you so much. But y'all, we're going to jump right into the Thomas Bar real quick. All right, here we go, y'all. Can I just say again, I want to shout out to this dynamic panelist tonight. Thank you so much. But look, mic check 1 2 1 2. We're going to win, y'all. After tonight, we are going to win. We are going to be willing, identifiable, and nascent. Win is when you wake up in the morning with the mindset and the willingness to start your day off better than the day before. Win is also when you look and you can identify that barrier, that person, place, or thing, and say and look at it in his face and say, not today. I got this. Winning is about understanding that you have that goal or that business and that you have accomplished more than what you have shared with anyone else. Listen, fam, life is full of opportunities and growth. You and we have the opportunity to be as successful as we want to be. But y'all, I've been doing a lot of research on this topic tonight, and I just hit up Google and I said, what are the side effects? And these were 4 things that came up, y'all, from Google. Take fewer drugs if possible. Before starting a new one, ask about non-drug options. I'm going somewhere. Simplify your drug regimen. Review your drugs regularly and avoid prescribing cascades. That happens, y'all, when doctors prescribe drugs to treat side effects of other drugs. But let's make this a little bit more personal as what we talked about tonight. Here are my 4 points, y'all. Take fewer doses of toxins or toxic people. Protect your space. Simplify or decrease your availability to hear negativity. End that call. Block that person. Log out. Constantly assess your progress and environment regularly. Sometimes we have to make some adjustments that we have to be okay with. And lastly, stop transferring negative energy onto the wrong person, the wrong source or situation. Stop justifying others and sometimes your own actions. Life is full of opportunities and growth. We have the opportunity to be successful as we want to be. When side effects present itself, increase your intake of nutrients, joy, positive atmospheres, or simply drink water. As always, y'all, your possibilities are limitless. Continue to be the best that you can be. And thank you so much for being on the show tonight. Thank you for your comments. If you would love to be a sponsor of this show, you can contact us at limitlesspossibilitiesforyou.com. And if you would love to be a sponsor along with Project Smith Designs, Foley Digital, and Limitless Endeavors, you can do so by sending us an email again at contactus@limitlesspossibilitiesforyou.com. Until next time, I love you all. Stay safe, wear a mask, and until then, we will be back on the show. September the 12th at 7 p.m. And we're going to be talking about back at it, back to school. We're going to be checking in with teachers, parents, and administrators to see how things are going since we are now back inside the physical building. Until then, I love you and take care.
The power that lies within thee. Black kings and queens who we will and shall be. Know that we bleed and breathe royalty. Love with the loyalty. Glow got me loving myself. Black skin my cover is hugging myself. Live for the mental and spiritual. But remember we limitless. DNA royal, not menaces. Know that we limitless. Brothers and sisters in arms, know the power be limitless. DNA royal, not menaces. Know that we limitless. Brothers and sisters in arms, know the power be